contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a SCIF?
There was no classified material that was shared in that.
So then if there was no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security. Bobbing and weaving and trying to, filibuster your answer. So please answer the question.
You gave me an answer indicating that you would be open to that, and I appreciate it. Director Patel, you weren't in this particular group chat, but have you participated in any chats on unclassified phones with other administration officials relating to national security? And if so, on what other topics?
Thank you for your question, Senator, and not that I can recall.
Okay.
When you have somebody like Hegseth, well, for example, let's use him because he was speaking about your former colleague at Fox News. Hold on. That's not a defense secretary. Excuse me. Listen, I'm not bringing up anything personal. I'm simply saying, my God, Sean, when you're talking about people who are unqualified, I wish him nothing but the best. He served our country, in the military. I get all of that. But when you are a weekend host on Fox News, and now you're the defense secretary of the United States overseeing 3.5 million people.
Let me ask you, did you serve in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Gitmo?
No,
did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Princeton? Yeah,
no,
well, he's certainly a pretty intelligent guy. So I would say.
I didn't say he wasn't intelligent.
Why don't we give a real soldier an opportunity? All right, I got another.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, one thing I'm not qualified for.
But say that.
I just said it.
This is what Libras want to see. Trump just responded to this few hours ago. I'm going to show you his response. But before we go into that, Hillary Clinton is filming on social media about this. This is what she posted on Facebook. You have got to be kidding me. Story in Atlantic. The Trump administration accidentally texted me. It war plan. U.S. national security leaders included me in a group chat about upcoming military training. I didn't think it could be real. Then the beast started falling. Okay, when you take a look at what is going on, Trump is not even aware that something like this is going on. CNN came with some kind of information. I don't know if you've seen it. It is important. I show you. First, take a look at this before we go into Trump's response.
I want to go back to what I addressed at the outset. I mean, this was not only sloppy, it not only violated all procedures, but if this information had gotten out, American lives could have been lost. The Houthis had this information, could reposition their defensive systems. So I want to get a little more information about this. Director Gabbard, did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address. So you're not. Are you denying? Will you answer my question, ma'am? You were not TG on this group chat.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
So you refuse to acknowledge whether you were on this group chat?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security Council.
Because it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
As the White House previously
stated, is it classified or non-classified information on this text?
I can confirm.
Director Radcliffe, were you on the group chat?
Senator, I was on a signal messaging group.
So you were the John Ratcliffe on that chat?
I was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I provide some context, Senator, to that?
Yes, but I've got a series of questions.
Well, but I think it's important because at the outset you made a couple of comments about signal messaging using encrypted apps. So that we're clear, one of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as CIA director was signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA, as it is for most CIA officers. One of the things that I was briefed on very early, Senator, was by the CIA records management folks about the use of signal as a permissible work use. It is. That is a practice that preceded the current administration to the Biden administration.
Director Ratcliffe, I've got a series of questions. If you're making the statement, the signal is a secure channel.
No, can I answer that? It is.
I've got a series of
end-to-end decryption. So to finish,
I understand encryption.
It is permissible to use to communicate and coordinate for work purposes, provided, Senator, that any decisions that are made are also recorded through formal channels. Right. So those were procedures that were implemented. My staff implemented those processes, followed those processes, complied with those processes, and finally, just please. So my communications, to be clear, in a signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful.
Yes, a question surfaced to Trump about this. When you take a look at this, breaking, Trump respond to report the Atlantic editor-in-chief was added to a national security group chat where war plans were discussed. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic. To me, it is a big magazine that's going out of business. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about it. You are telling me for the first time. That is Trump responding to what is going on. Trump is not aware. When you watch videos like what is surfacing, be ready for a song, because the mainstream media will sing this from now to next year.
Do you think someone should be fired over this?
Absolutely. I mean, if I made a mistake like this as a lieutenant, I would be probably not just fired, but probably indicted and tried and maybe in prison. And the idea that, you remember, these guys love talking about merit, right? We hear a lot about this alleged principle that they're hiring people on merit. I think, there's some questions there. I mean, our current Secretary of Defense hadn't shown a lot of evidence of, running a large organization, or let alone running a large organization well. And he got put in charge of the largest organization in the United States of America and the most important organization in the world, which is the U.S. Department of Defense. And if there's not accountability for a screw up like this, especially from a president who used to fire people every day on television for sport, what are we even doing here?
And to see this administration claiming that it cares about competence and merit, and then be responsible for an epic like this, demonstrates that these are not serious people. I was an intelligence officer for about 7 years in the U.S. Navy Reserve, and I occasionally handled highly classified information during my time in the cabinet as well. It can be hard to explain just how much goes into keeping that information safe. It is only available to people with a security clearance and a need to know. It's only discussed in certain facilities that are hardened to make sure that they don't have the same vulnerability.
Yes, when you take a look at what is going on and Libras are celebrating it, I understand sometimes mistakes happen. This person bringing this information to the media is concerning. Something like this has happened. Look into it, report back. Now the way they are making it, like he was not sure if this was really reliable information. The Libras are carrying it. Bet you from now on, this will be like a song. They will be singing every single day. Oh, this one. Oh, they are not competent. Oh no, Hillary Clinton is already there, jubilating. It is crazy. It is important. When things like this are happening, pay close attention. I'm already seeing a lot of videos surfacing about it. Reason, I want to just inform my subscribers to know what is going on. If you see any clip after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm. You can stop here. God bless you.
Kid Rock was here a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I want you to meet Trump. He said, I'm going to take you to the White House. So now we're going to do that.
I think that's a good
there will be lots of people on the left who will be like, how dare you talk to this man? It's like, I'm not
When I look at my life right now and I ask myself, which political party has made my life worse? It's not the Republican Party. Locally speaking, the Democrats have complete control and they have nearly destroyed my family's livelihood. Okay? We are living in trash and squalor
Who's getting these? Texas, Florida, Idaho.
Done nothing but talk smack about the president since day one.
Actually moderate, against war, anti-war.
Good for you. Well, the two stars are Gal Gadot, before you, who she was in the Israeli Defense Forces. She's Israeli, and then Rachel Zegler plays Snow White. I think Gal plays the. I mean, you must have a feeling in your gut.
Or fuel on the fire that there's a potential.
The economy added 16 points.
Your show's on YouTube. It's a
different mechanism. It's the same thing, though.
Let me ask you your opinion on this. Saturday Night Live, 50th anniversary.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself.
1980, so I come after us, and that's the way it is.
But George Clooney, I realize this isn't the most important news.
Yes, because